Hey everybody, it's Brad from Johnson Small Engines, better known as the one-hand mechanic. If I can do it, you can too. Today we are working on a Cub Cadet Ultima ZT1. This has a 42-inch mower deck, and today I'm going to show you how to remove and reinstall the mower deck, in my opinion. So first thing you want to do is, if you can do this on asphalt or concrete, that'd be awesome. I do like this machine. If anybody out there is looking for a 42-inch cut with a zero turn, this is a very nice machine, but we have to get the mower deck all the way down as far as we can get it. Okay, so the cutting height is where the mower deck actually stays. So to lower the mower deck all the way down to the ground, you actually have to push the pedal for your mower deck height adjustment, okay? So you're relieving the stress on your handle here. If you don't have if your foot is not depressed on the pedal, this will not move and you can break it. So you're just gonna put a little pressure, lift your mower deck up. You're gonna turn this all the way down as low as you can get it to the, it goes to 0, but it actually will show like a 1 inch right here. But putting it all the way down, you can see it goes all the way down to the ground. Next step, to make this a little bit easier for you guys to see, it's very nice that you can take off this cover right here. And they give you a tool. This tool right here is an awesome tool. You can do a lot of stuff with this. This tool will take off the bolt that holds this cover down. This tool will adjust your tracking forward, your front end alignment when you're moving forward. This tool will actually, you can adjust your handles with this. So this tool does a lot. They have a nice little place where you put it in there and it actually snaps in right there, and it's very hard to get out, so I left it out just for this video. So we're gonna go ahead, and I already took this off. It takes a while to do this by hand, but I unscrewed most of it. Okay, so the bolt comes out, just lift this up and brings this off. Now I have to say, when this came in, this was a mess, and if I have some pictures, I'll show them to you right now. Just about ready to clean up a Ultima ZT1, and I highly recommend not doing this. This is no good. One of the worst packed up decks I've seen in a while. This is not how you should keep your machine. And I'm gonna go ahead and clean it up. I'll be right back. But the reason why we take this off is, one, so we have to loosen up this belt. And there's a lot of different ways. A lot of you guys out there that are really strong, you can just pull the belt off the engine in the back, and a lot of people do it that way. I'm gonna show you how to do it with a pry bar, but we're gonna take off this cover, and technically, if you're working on your mower deck and you're taking it off, you're probably gonna take the cover off anyway. So we're gonna go ahead and take this cover off right now. Okay, so I have some tools here that we're gonna use today. 3/8 socket for taking off that cover, a large pry bar right here that's going to help us lift the mower deck up and down and also take the belt off very easily. So if you have like a 2-foot bar or even a large screwdriver will help you. A pair of pliers to get the pins off, and you guys can put if you have some blocks of wood, you can put the mower deck on blocks of wood. That'll alleviate some of the stress on the pins that we're going to take out. So we need to take the bolts out right now for the mower deck cover. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take this cover off, and it's 3/8. And when you put these back on, you got to be very careful that you don't tighten them too tight, because this plastic will crack. Take your cover off. Now what I'm going to do to make this very easy to take the belt off is right here, they have in between the pulley and the bracket right here, the belt sits on the other pulley. I'm going to put a screwdriver right in the middle here. I'm not going to press on the belt. I'm going to press on the pulley and this bracket right here. This is actually you can't take the belt off without taking off this nut. So when you guys are doing your belt change, you're going to have to take this off to get this. This is a secure way they're keeping the belt from coming off. Okay, so my large green pry bar was a little bit thicker and it didn't fit in there quite as nice as I wanted to, so I went to a smaller pry bar. Now all you have to do is pull against the spring tension, and there is a lot of spring tension on here, but with a large bar or a screwdriver, and you do have to be careful it doesn't slide out on you. If you pull this all the way back, just like so, this belt will come right off. And you can just put it back on the same way. And you have to be careful, this is very spring loaded. So take this back nice and slow and easy until it stops, which is going a very long way. And then you can pull your pry bar or your screwdriver out. I take this cover off also when I'm servicing the mower deck. because when you put it back on again, if the mower deck is clean, you can get the covers back on real easily, and that'll allow you to watch these belts and make sure they're on properly. Now, when we're going to go around to the back here, I'm going to show you where you have to drop it down on the engine side. Okay, so under the back here where the engine mounts, this is the electric PTO, and the belt sits on this. Now, you can just slide it off the back real easily, and it'll sit on the stationary bar back here, and then we're going to slide the mower deck through and out. When you go to put this back on again, just slide the belt through on top of this bar, and then you can just put it right here, and then pull everything up forward, and you'll be able to get it on that way. Or some of you guys can just come back here and do it, you know, manually by hand. You can take it on and off from this pulley also, but I find it much easier to do it that way. All right, so let's go around front again. This pin has to come off. Now, as you can tell, this pin is loose. If the pin is not loose, that usually means that the deck is hanging on the pin, and that's not good. So that's where your block of wood will come in. If you guys need to, you can get back on the machine, raise the mower deck up with your foot, and then put a block of wood under here, or you can pick this up and slide a piece of wood, depending on how strong you are. The mower deck is not that heavy, but what I do is I'll use my pry bar, and I'll just slide it under, and then I'll pick it up if I need to. But at this moment, I don't need to because this is actually loose. I'm gonna go ahead and take this clip off. Now these clips are really nice. I call them butterfly clips, bow tie clips, but they work real well. Now we have to push this pin out, and if there's no tension right here, it should come out like that. Now we're gonna go around to the other side. Okay, so this side here, there's tension on that. I'm gonna take the clip off first because the tension will help get the clip off without that pin spinning around like that. Then I'm gonna put my pry bar under, and all I have to do is lift this up a little bit, and then I'll lose the tension. Then I can get that off like that. Slide my bar out. We gotta go around to the front. So we have the front bar here, and as you can see, it's loose. Now, sometimes you have to hold the pin with one hand and then slide the clevis pin out. Okay, so we just have to push the pin out like so. Now remember, this is angled a certain direction. I don't think you can put it in backwards. Yeah, you can't. So you can't put it in backwards. It only goes in one way. If you're going to be running this machine around without the deck on, take this out of the front. They make it easy. It just slides right out the front. So when you're ready to put it back on, then you can slide it back in again. We'll leave this off for now. Now at this point, you have to raise the back brackets so the mower deck will slide out. And all I have to do is just push down on the deck hangers, and then we'll go over and lock it on the highest position we can. We lifted up these brackets up out of the way so they're not binding on anything. And at this point, you may need to move your front tires around a little bit to slide it right out. Now, putting it back on, because you can't see under here and you don't know if the belt's actually on correctly, I'm gonna go ahead and take this cover off real quick. And that just allows us to see, to make sure the belt's on properly when you get it all back together again. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and push this back in. And just be careful, you have that big long tail sticking out, so you have to put it in the back. And you just wanna line up your brackets with your brackets underneath here. So when you let this down, it's gonna slide right in. It should slide in between or get very close. So I'm gonna go ahead and let this down now. Push the pedal down, go to 0, that'll drop. I think it dropped down to 1. See if we can get a little bit lower. No, I think that's as far down as this goes as a 1. Okay, so it wasn't quite lined up, but that's all right. We can slide it in. And I can see already that we'll need to lift this up a little bit and put my pry bar under. And I don't need much. And the hard part is you have to come from the back side here, but make sure you go through the hole in the bracket and then the hole in the mower deck, which is very big. Then you just have to line it up. I'm using my pry bar to manipulate the deck a little bit. Just like so. Put your pin in, like that. We'll go around to the front. I'm gonna go ahead and slide this through and put this down inside here. Okay, we can go around to the left side. Okay, so you can see on this side it's not quite lined up right, but you just wiggle it around a little bit, move it in, come from the back. Just have to find which way the mower deck needs to go to get everything lined up. Again, I use my pry bar to manipulate the up and down movement of where the deck needed to be for the pin to come through. Push that in. Okay, so now we have to put the belt on. There are different holes in here, and you want to make sure that this goes in the right hole, because this will just, oh, this can just come apart. This is actually, it's pretty attached. As long as you're not, if you don't need to replace your belt and you're just doing your blades or stuff like that, you might be able to leave this on. But, you know, just remember, I always tend to use a silver marker and mark holes where things came out of so you know where they went. Always remember that the flat side of the belt will go on the flat side of a pulley. The V part of your belt goes in the V part of the pulley. We're just going to go ahead and make sure that this is on here like so, and this is around this pulley like so. This is good here. We're going to go ahead in the back. Okay, so it was sitting down below it, but all you have to do, if you can just make sure you keep everything the way everything is up there, and then just put this belt around like this. And it may be better if you had two people, but this works. I do it by myself all the time. So go ahead and just leave it sitting on the PTO pulley right here. I'm going around to the front. Okay, so what I do is get everything starting to get taut. A lot of you guys out there can probably just use the pulley and you can slide it on. I'm going to go ahead and put my pry bar back in the slot right here, and then I'm just going to pull it towards me. And you have to be careful. This pry bar is angled, so it actually is going to slip out on me. I'm going to put it back. I'm going to put it in this way so it doesn't slip out, and then it'll give me a little better leverage. I'm just going to pull this nice and easy while I'm using my arm to put the belt over the pulley on the mower deck, and it just goes right over. And then just be careful, let that back, pull that out, and you're done. So that's pretty much it for that. Go ahead and put these covers back on. Make sure the covers go back where they came from. You can always tell that there's wear marks. There's always wear marks where the cover was, so just make sure you get it back where you had it. You can put them on wrong, and then it'll wear the cover from the belt, or the belt will wear because of the cover, or both. Always be careful. Do not over tighten these. Other side. When it comes to the right side cover, it's a little bit harder to get to this back bolt, so I put the two front in first always, so it should line up the back bolt hole, and then should be able to just put it in. I start them all by hand just to make sure they're started. Go ahead and put your footrest back in. Just fits in 2 slots. Put your bolt in. Tighten that up. Put your tool back in a spot, and it actually clicks in. That's very tight. It's a nice spot for it though. We're going to go ahead and take one more look at the belt in the back. Okay, so you just want to look in the back one more time to make sure your belt's on correctly. I'm going to go ahead and put the deck up to a comfortable spot just so we can run the mower deck. Okay, so at this point, we're going to take it out for a test drive. We're going to go ahead and do the tire pressure, level the mower deck out. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe, share my channel with your friends, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.